Hello, hello. Welcome back, Mindful Musings. I am Brittany Geneva, and this is episode 6. Um, I'm getting it together, you guys. Like I did exactly what I said I was going to do. It has been 2 weeks since the last episode. It is a Thursday, and now I am delivering this to you. Consistency is my middle name. Um, so this episode I want to talk about something that, I'm going to be honest. Like, I feel like this topic is not like that new of a topic. It's been talked about, but it seems like it's coming back up. Like, I'm seeing it pop on Twitter. I'm seeing it in different places, people starting to bring it back to the fore. So I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in on it. But basically, this idea of can you be pro Black and date interracially? Can you be someone who says, I care deeply about the Black community? I am here for the upliftment of Blackness. I have a level of pride in Black culture, pro Black. I want to see, policy and things happen at a legislative level that helps Black people. I am pro Black, but I don't date or I don't always date Black people. Can you be both? Now, I am not going to jump right out with my answer because I feel like I need to explain it and then at the end you'll know. But I just want to give some background on how my thought process is informed. Okay. So I am someone who has for many years until recently and only out of absolute necessity, I didn't drive. Basically since 2013, I have been very like not super big on driving my car. Part of that was because I don't enjoy driving. I don't think driving is fun. I know some people like to like go for a drive. I don't think it's entertaining at all. Like I'd much rather not. And as I moved to New York and then to DC, and I actually lived in cities unlike Atlanta where not driving is possible, I came to feel very liberated by it. I was very happy to not be able to drive. And I really started to feel a sense of pride about it because I said, I actually am doing something that's like better for the earth. And I care about the earth. I am not driving. I take public transportation. I take the bus and the train. I'm like, I really be like trying to stay off the road and stay off of these modes of transportation that cause a lot of like carbon emission and things like that. And recently, again, out of necessity, I have started driving again. It was because my job was too far and not accessible via public transportation. And I actually felt a little guilty. I was like, I am out here talking about how much I love Mother Earth, and I'm driving on her almost every day now. So I was still, when I could, I was still trying to take the train and still trying to be, miss public transportation, but it's getting hard. And I moved to an apartment that's a little bit less centrally located. It's just getting hard. And I actually feel a level of disconnect between saying that I care about the earth, but being someone who drives a lot, especially when driving or not driving was like my main way of like showing my solidarity with the world, you know? So the actions and the things that you say you support should be supported by the everyday choices you make in your life. If I'm a person who's saying, I love the earth and I love sustainability. And I think climate change is a huge issue. And I think we need to do a better job of figuring out, how to conserve. But I drive a big ass gas guzzling Hummer every day and I turn all the lights on in my house and I run the water nonstop and I never take public transportation and on and on and on, then everything I've just said about caring about climate change is bullshit. My actions have to support what I'm saying. And even in my own life, where my actions have started to disconnect from what I'm saying, I actually feel a little bit convicted about that. Like I actually feel a little bit like guilty, you know? So that should already give you a hint as to where I'm going with my answer to the question of can you be pro-Black but date interracially? I think that words and actions must align in any and everything that you say you support. If I claim to be someone who supports the LGBT community, I care about the gays, I care about everybody, like marriage equality and love is love, but I hear people say homophobic things and I don't correct them, or I have an opportunity to support an LGBT cause and I don't take that opportunity, or I don't actually have any gay friends in my life because I'm actually not even surrounding myself with LGBT people, then there's a disconnect. I'm saying I support, but nothing actually in my life speaks to the support. So, on the same vein, if you claim to support Blackness and be pro-Black, as the term goes, but your life is not being lived in a way that shows you are making pro-Black choices, then there's a disconnect. Then I'm not seeing the evidence of what you say you're about. And if there's no evidence, then how do I really know you're about it? Because the only thing I can judge is the action, not just the word. So I need to see consistency to know that you actually are what you say you are. In this case, pro-Black. Now, you'll see that I used a word earlier. I said a choice. Every single thing that we do in life is choice. Our life is just a sum of choices. So, as I gave in my previous two examples, I say I support sustainability or I support LGBT community. I have to then make choices that prove out the support that I say I have. If I say that I support something, it is a choice. I have to make a conscious decision to support it. Everything we do in life is about making choices. I made the choice of where I worked. I made the choice of this apartment that I live in. I made the choice of the clothes that I'm wearing right now. I made the choice of the type of phone that I have. I made the choice of, the type of computer that I'm recording this podcast on right now. Every single thing is a choice. Things do not just happen to us. And the thing about it is, typically we're very proud about the fact that we make a choice. We feel very good about the fact that I am choosing to do a good thing. I support the earth, so I choose not to drive. Or I support LGBT community, so I choose to donate to causes that uplift the community, whatever it is. So typically we're actually quite proud of our choices. We tweet and post on Instagram and Facebook about the choices that we made, about political choices that we make, social justice choices that we make. We tend to be very proud of what we choose to do and exalt the fact that we are making the choice to do so. It wasn't when Barack Obama was running for president, many Black people wanted to be very clear. I'm not voting for him solely because he's Black. I'm making a choice to vote for him because he is the best candidate. However, let me just say, if somebody did vote for him just because he's Black, I'm not even mad at it. But if many Black people went out of their way to say, no, I want you to know that I'm choosing Barack Obama, and not just falling into, oh, he's a Black candidate, he's on the Democratic ticket, so of course I'm going to go with it. So we tend to be very proud about our choices and understand that everything in life is a choice. And yet, for some reason, when it comes to love and relationships, people who date interracially love to say, well, you can't choose who you love. You can't help who you love. You can't help who you fall in love with. And I strongly beg to differ. You absolutely can make choices about love the same way you make choices about everything in your life. In all the examples I just gave, I made a choice. So why suddenly does the choice and the agency and the decision making just stop? All of a sudden, there's a little bubble around love and relationships where the choosing is over. And now it's just, well, I'm just living and I just exist and I'm just floating and love just happened to me. No, no, that's not how that works. If you are a Black person who dates interracially, especially if it is almost always interracially, if you very rarely or never date other Black people, that is a choice that you made. You chose to surround yourself with more non-Blacks than Blacks. You chose to immerse yourself into a relationship with someone who is not Black, while at the same time, you probably, especially if you're a man, you probably chose to ignore Black women who were available to you but did not fit your preference. Everything in life is a choice. There is no exceptions. There is nothing in life that is not a choice that you made at some point along the way. So, yes, you may have just fallen in love with that non Black person, and that just happened. But it was after you chose to only surround yourself with non Black people. It was after you chose to make yourself someone who is more focused on non Black people than Black people. That you made choices that led to the inevitability, quote unquote, of who you fell in love with. So don't give me, oh, you can't help who you love. You can. You can absolutely help it. You can absolutely make a choice. And if you say that you are pro Black, you can make choices in life that align to the belief and the idea that Blackness is something that you value and treasure. And therefore, in one of the most important choices of your life, which is who you are going to be romantically linked with, you certainly can choose for that person to also be Black. Now, another very sad thing that I see all the time is that when I meet people who do say, I choose Black, my preference is Black people, there are many others, unfortunately, many Blacks, who will say some version of, well, isn't that kind of like reverse racism? I mean, wouldn't we be offended if white people said, well, I choose to only date white people? I mean, we're being just as closed minded as they are. Hi, that's incorrect. Bye. There is nothing wrong. And we have been shamed as Black people in many ways, not just with romance. We have been shamed as Black people in many ways. Anytime we say, I'm going to choose Black first, we get persecuted. I am going to choose to support Black business. I'm going to choose to live in a Black neighborhood. I'm going to choose to elect Black candidates to office. I'm going to choose to date only Black people. Every time we say we choose Black, it becomes reverse racism. Now, I'm not aware of that happening with many other ethnic groups. I'm not aware of other ethnic groups and racial groups being chastised for staying in solidarity with one another. But certainly when we do it, it is front page news. It is reverse racism. It is a problem. And to that, I say, fuck that, because we need to feel free to make a choice that puts ourselves first if we indeed identify as someone who is pro Black. If that's how we see ourselves, then we should have no qualms, no shame, no problem, absolutely no concern with saying, hi, I'm pro Black, and therefore I put Black first. I'm not shitting on anyone else. I'm not disregarding anyone else. But when it comes to who is first, it is Black. And there is nothing wrong. There is absolutely zero wrong with saying that and doing that and living that. And if you're not willing to say and do and live that, then I will have to question your quote unquote pro Blackness. Because if you are not putting Black first, I'm struggling then with what the definition of pro-Black is. So what is the answer? What is my answer to the question, can you be pro-Black and date interracially? My answer is, we make choices in life. Those choices should be consistent with what we claim to believe. We should be proud and honored to make choices in alignment with what we say our beliefs are. And we should know that everything we do is indeed a choice, and nothing in life just happens to us. That is my answer to that question. And I hope that makes sense. So, I'd love to hear anybody else's thoughts on the matter. Feel free to hit me up. I am on social media on all the things, Brittany_Geneva. And please do join me in 2 weeks for the next episode of Mindful Musings.